You are listening to
Rice, Beans, and Revolution, motherfucker.
Hey. So we're closing in on the end of 2015, and what better way to close it off than with a best of 2015 episode. So what I did is I asked on Facebook and friends that I know to compile a list of their top 3 best songs, best albums of 2015. Here are the results. Kicking it off will be my number 1. I'll go ahead and just play the song, and then I'll talk about my top 3 afterwards. A song Parts by the band The Worriers. Not the Warriors, The Worriers. Worriers. And it's off their new album called Imaginary Life, which came out on Don Giovanni Records. And that was my number 1 pick for 2015. Let's see. The album was it was produced by Laura Jane Grace of Against Me. And the drummer is Mikey Erg. You might have heard of him. He's been in 100 other bands before. And actually the singer, Lauren Denizio, she used to be in a band called The Measure, S.A. And the opening theme song of this podcast is actually by The Measure, S.A. So when this album came out, I was really excited. And it definitely didn't disappoint. Every song on there is just amazing. And let's see, that was my number 1. My number 2 was Jeff Rosenstock and the album We Cool. And my number 3 was by Beach Slang. And the name of that album was The Things We Do to Find People Who Feel Like Us. And I've played Beach Slang on the podcast before. And it's one of the former members of Weston. They were one of my favorites back in the late 90s. So that's my top 3. I'll go ahead and go through my list here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 or 6 people who submitted their top 3. So I'll go one by one, and I'll be playing everybody's number one. But before I do that, I just want to mention, again, thanks for the support I've been receiving, the encouragement from everybody. It's awesome when people say, hey, man, when's your next podcast coming out? I listen to it every time. I can't wait. So that's awesome. And right now, I'm kind of limited on how many episodes I can put out a month. And that's based on the amount of storage I have with my podcast host. I'm going to try to raise some money, but the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to start selling merch. I'll be selling some T-shirts that I made myself. I'll also be selling some pins and hopefully some stickers in the near future. So if you want to support the podcast, the best way to do it is get a hold of me, and you can do that through Facebook, or you can also do it through... you can email me at ricebeansrevolution@gmail.com. And or you can just catch me if you see me at a show, or you see me at HEB, or even see me at work. Just say, hey, man, I want to buy some merch. I want to get a T-shirt. I'd be more than happy to hook you up. So go ahead and do that. Also, if you have any show ideas or anything at all like that, go ahead and email me or message me on Facebook as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to our top threes.
It must have been a remedy so long.
Okay, that was the Windowsill, and the song was called Around 97, and that's actually off a split by the Windowsill and D-Cracks. Consider Fisto split 10-inch, and that's out on Shield Recordings. And that was actually Eric Fly's number one pick for 2015. Let's see, the Windowsill, I believe they're from the Netherlands. And D-Cracks are from, I want to say Germany, somewhere in Germany. Austria, and they used to formerly be known as the Cretans, but so I think they got sued or something. They had to change their name. And Eric's number two is the Albrights, Hell on a Surfboard, and his number three was Get Bent Discography, which is really good. It's out on Dead Broke Records. You should definitely pick that up. Okay, next we have Javi Perez, bass player for the Follies. And his top three, starting with number 3, are the Low Ends, Already Gone, local band. Played them before. Number 2, Sprainerd, Mabel. And his number 1 pick for 2015 was Radioactivity, Silent Kills. And speaking of low ends, we also have Eddie, Stiff One Eye. And his number 3 was Ghost, Meloria. His number 2 pick was Matt Skiba. His number 2 pick is Matt Skiba and The Secrets. The album is Cuts. And his number 1 is The Low Ends, Already Gone. And like I've mentioned before, I've played them on the show before. They're a local band. They're fucking awesome. They just released an EP and they're currently recording a new one. So that should probably be out sometime in early 2017. So here's Radioactivity and The Low End.
Radioactivity.
Our next top 3 is by Ruben Mancillas. And I'm pretty sure you know who this guy is. He throws a lot of shows over in the Hop Shop. And he's also the guitar player for Nerve Damage and I think Babosas del Valle. But he's just an all-around badass. And here's his top 3, starting with number 3. And that's going to be Faith No More, Sol Invictus. Personally, I didn't even know Faith No More was still around, but apparently they released an album this year, and that's his number 3. Number 2, it's Split by Midnight and Shitfucker. That's right, Shitfucker. And his number 1 pick is by the band Slouch. And it's off their Toxic Bitch EP. And I'll be playing Learning to Live. Also have Migas from Annex, his top 3 of 2015. And let's see, his number 3 was Cadaver, M-Trance, the self-titled 7-inch. We got number 2, Cemetery, Wind and Shadows LP. And his number 1 is Rule of Thirds, their self-titled LP. I believe these guys are from, where are they from? Australia. So here we have some Slouch and some Rule of Thirds.
Working on my
Cool. So to close it off, I got the last top 3, and that's by my friend Monica Rios. Thanks for sending this in. I really appreciate it. Let's start with her number 3. It's At the Gates, At War with Reality, Heroes and Tombs. Number 2 is Bad Cop, Not Sorry, the anti-love song. And her number 1 pick was G.L.O.S.S, their self-titled demo. And it's really fucking great. 7-inch. Pick it up. They swung by here on their recent tour. And I got to say, that show totally blew me away. It was one of my favorite shows of this past year. It was just a blast. Here's Masculine Artifice by G.L.O.S.S. Cheers. Thanks for listening again. I'd like to dedicate this podcast to Nardwar, the Human Serviette. He does a podcast and a radio show, and you should check him out on YouTube. He does all these awesome, funny videos. He interviews mostly people involved in the punk scene, but just about everybody, even douchebag people from top 40 bands, and it's hilarious. He had a stroke, but he's doing much better now. Anyway, I spend hours watching a lot of his videos on YouTube, and definitely a reason why I do the podcast. Check out, he's got an awesome TED Talk video also on DIY. Totally inspiring, so check that out. And all right, I'll see you guys next year. Thanks for listening again. Happy New Year. Don't drink and drive.
Keep on rocking in the free world and doot doodaloo doo.
Doop doop.